Beyond the struggle narrative, the revolutionary joy of Black entrepreneurship. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to begin by acknowledging the extraordinary woman whose insights form the foundation of today's conversation. Sunkiss Shimmer. For those who haven't yet encountered her transformative work, Sunkiss isn't just an entrepreneur. She's a visionary architect of joy, building bridges between communities and reimagining what Black business ownership can be in America. Her genius lies not just in the ventures she creates, but in how she cultivates ecosystems of authentic connection and celebration that ripple through communities nationwide. She embodies the revolutionary truth that our economic power is inseparable from our cultural brilliance. When I first sat down with Sunkiss, I expected to discuss business strategies and market penetration. What unfolded instead was a profound reimagining of entrepreneurship itself, one centered in joy, cultural affirmation, and collective liberation. Her perspectives have forever altered how I understand the intersection of business, identity, and community power. We've all encountered the dominant narrative about Black entrepreneurship, haven't we? The one that fixates almost exclusively on barriers, obstacles, discrimination, and the perpetual uphill battle. This narrative isn't false. These challenges are painfully real. But when this struggle becomes the only story we tell, something vital is lost. What's lost is the fullness of our experience, the joy, the innovation, the community brilliance, the cultural wealth, the celebration. This singular focus on hardship creates what I call the struggle narrative, the limiting belief that Black business ownership must be defined primarily by what we're fighting against rather than what we're creating. It's a narrative that, while acknowledging important truths, simultaneously drains our energy and narrows our imagination. But what if there's another story waiting to be told? What if, alongside the very real challenges, there exists a parallel reality of joy, innovation, and community power that deserves equal attention? What if our entrepreneurial journeys contain not just struggle, but profound sweetness? This is the revolutionary insight that emerged from my conversation with Sunkiss Shimmer. She challenged me to see that the journey of building a business as a Black entrepreneur isn't solely defined by barriers. It's equally, perhaps even more profoundly, shaped by community resilience, cultural innovation, and collective joy. There is so much sweetness woven throughout our entrepreneurial journeys, creativity that transforms industries, collaborations that defy isolation, celebrations that sustain us, despite outside attempts to diminish our shine. This perspective doesn't deny the obstacles. Rather, it expands our vision to include the powerful networks and spaces we create for ourselves. It acknowledges that our entrepreneurial stories contain multitudes, both challenge and triumph, both struggle and sweetness. Let me share three transformative insights from my conversation with Sunkiss that might forever change how you view Black entrepreneurship. First, embracing your cultural identity isn't just personally fulfilling, it's a profound business advantage. When you bring your full self into your work, including your heritage, style, values, and voice, it doesn't just set you apart, it attracts opportunities and communities aligned with who you truly are. Consider Jordan Weaver, founder of Forefront ATL. After relocating from Durham, North Carolina, a city with the historical legacy of the Black Wall Street, Jordan found herself disheartened by the fragmentation she observed in Atlanta's entrepreneurial landscape for Black professionals. Where others might have simply complained or conformed, Jordan saw possibility, drawing from the legacy of Black collective economics she'd witnessed in Durham. She created Forefront ATL, not just another networking space, but a sanctuary of collaboration specifically designed for Black innovators. What makes her approach revolutionary is that she didn't attempt to contort herself or her community into models built without us in mind. Instead, she drew deep from cultural wells of knowledge about cooperative economics and mutual aid that have sustained Black communities for generations. I realized that what we needed wasn't just another incubator, Jordan shared. We needed a space that understood our cultural references, honored our communication styles, and recognized our unique challenges without requiring us to shrink ourselves to fit in. The results speak volumes. Forefront ATL has dramatically increased collaboration among local entrepreneurs, enhanced visibility for member businesses, and launched successful incubator programs that have helped several startups secure substantial funding. By embracing rather than minimizing her cultural identity and vision, Jordan has elevated Atlanta's reputation as a center for diverse entrepreneurship and inspires similar models nationwide. This isn't just business, it's cultural innovation with profound economic impact. It's what happens when we refuse to separate our entrepreneurial identities from our cultural brilliance. The second insight from my conversation with Sunkiss is equally transformative. Building community with other Black professionals isn't just emotionally supportive, it's strategically essential. Collaboration leads to shared resources, amplified voices, and collective success in industries where representation remains insufficient. This truth came alive at Houston's BLD Day Block Party, a vibrant celebration of Black business where Sunkiss connected with fellow creators. Many arrived carrying a common wound skepticism about genuine support within the community due to past disappointments, resource scarcity, or internalized competition. Rather than accepting these divisions, these entrepreneurs transformed the event into a laboratory of connection. They leveraged the celebration not just for individual promotion, but for reimagining what collaborative economics could look like. They facilitated vulnerable conversations about shared challenges and opportunities that strengthened relationships between businesses, leading to partnerships that continued long after the event ended. What's particularly revolutionary about Sunkiss's approach is how she consistently uses her platforms, social media events, her growing influence, not primarily to center herself, but to amplify other entrepreneurs' stories. She's hosted intimate panels at block parties where beauty entrepreneurs shared their failures alongside their successes. She's built cross sector partnerships between seemingly unrelated industries, connecting wellness practitioners with tech innovators, beauty brands with financial services, creating unexpected collaborations that benefit entire communities. The old model taught us to fight for our small piece of the pie, Sunkiss explained, but we're learning that when we come together, we can bake entirely new pies, bigger, more delicious ones with enough slices for everyone. This approach has fostered not just individual business growth, but a profound shift in community consciousness, a growing pride and strategic investment in supporting locally owned Black businesses. This isn't just networking, it's community building with revolutionary intent and measurable outcomes. The third insight challenges perhaps the most persistent misconception about entrepreneurship. The path may look glamorous from the outside, but it comes with real sacrifices and real rewards. Behind every successful venture are moments of vulnerability, and learning from those moments builds true resilience. I was deeply moved by the story of a beauty startup founder who courageously revealed via social media what is truly like behind the scenes of owning a glamorous beauty company as a Black woman entrepreneur. While her Instagram featured perfectly styled product shots and celebrity endorsements, she made the radical choice to also share the messy reality. The night spent mixing formulations in her kitchen after her children were asleep, the rejection letters from investors who couldn't relate to her target market, the moments of self doubt when major retailers questioned her pricing strategy. She faced relentless industry bias around professionalism and appearance while simultaneously managing her mental health amid crushing expectations. Rather than perpetuating the myth of effortless success, she navigated these challenges through radical transparency, sharing both triumphs and setbacks publicly. I realized that pretending everything was perfect wasn't just exhausting for me, she shared. It was doing a disservice to other Black women who might look at my success and think there's something wrong with them for struggling. Through this authenticity, she built extraordinary trust with her audience. By demystifying entrepreneurship, discussing product mishaps, financial setbacks, and moments of self doubt openly, she created a brand that transcended products to become a movement of truth telling. Her journey began after leaving a corporate position where she felt perpetually unseen and unheard due to systemic lack of diversity and inclusion. During the pandemic, when many businesses were contracting, she launched her product line using online platforms and community feedback loops. Her courage and innovation eventually earned regional awards and inspired countless other women of color founders through her mentorship and media appearances. This story reminds us that true resilience isn't about never struggling. It's about how we transform our struggles into wisdom, how we rise after falling, and crucially, how we bring others along on our journey. These three insights from my conversation with Sunkiss Shimmer offer a profound reframing of Black entrepreneurship. They invite us to see beyond the struggle narrative, to recognize the full spectrum of the Black business experience, including its joy, creativity, and community power. This perspective doesn't minimize challenges. Rather, it expands our vision to include the complete truth of our experiences. It's about reclaiming narratives that have been narrowed by others and opening them to include our joy, our creativity, our resilience, and our community brilliance. As Sunkiss so powerfully shared, when we only focus on the barriers, we miss the beauty we're creating along the way. And that beauty, that joy, is what sustains us through the difficult moments. It's what makes the journey not just worthwhile, but revolutionary. The revolutionary power of Black entrepreneurship lies not just in overcoming barriers, but in creating entirely new models of success, models rooted in cultural affirmation, community wealth, and collective joy. I want to leave you with this challenge. How will you actively contribute, not just consume, to building sweeter futures within our professional communities? What would change if you approach your work not just as an individual achievement, but as a community responsibility and a cultural contribution? The struggle is real, but so is the sweetness, so is the joy, so is the power we create when we come together. Today, I invite you to expand your vision of what Black entrepreneurship can be, to reject the limiting narrative that defines us solely by our challenges, to embrace the revolutionary truth that our economic power is inseparable from our cultural brilliance and our community connections. The most revolutionary act might be to pursue your dreams with uncompromising joy, to create businesses that don't just make money, but make meaning, that don't just overcome barriers, but create entirely new possibilities. This isn't just about business strategy. This is about liberation. This is about creating economies of joy that sustain us, heal us, and ultimately transform the world around us. The sweet revolution isn't coming, it's already here. And you, with your unique gifts, your cultural wisdom, your community connections, are essential to its success. What will you create? Who will you lift? How will you join this sweet revolution? The world is waiting for your answer.